Yo, it's Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, and you're watching Hot New Hip Hop's 12 Days of Christmas. You know, the thing about it is, for those who are still stuck where they are, it's just a reflection of the energy they were putting in trying to take away from everybody else. I never got into this game thinking I had to be better than anybody or be greater than or have bigger interviews than. I got in as a person passionate about the culture, passionate about celebrity life, wanting to know more, wanting to strip away the veils and allow fans to see their favorite star, be able to meet my favorite celebrities, and then just do the work. I had to shed a lot of my own personal stuff. I have been depressed through this journey. I have lacked confidence at times, and I had to really do a lot of self-work. And then I just think the working on myself has evolved into what you see in my career, right? And, you know, looking at the Obamas and being inspired by them and wanting to talk to them. I'm not going to talk to them if I'm out here spilling tea all day, you know, and I didn't even want to spill the tea, to be honest with you. It's just when I wanted to get in the game, nobody opened up doors for me. And the only doors that opened up were those that were messy. So I took those, and then I shaped all of that drama into a throne that I sit on now. And I'm thankful that people have grown with me. You know, sometimes I go through this idea that if I change, I'm gonna lose a lot of people. If I don't do this, I'm gonna lose a lot of clicks. If I don't do it, you know, but the reality is that when you build a solid foundation of people who support you and believe in you and wanna see you win, and you take them on a journey with you, they'll stay there. And then you'll lose some, but you'll gain others. And I just think that I've been grateful to figure it out, and I'm still figuring it out. And I thank you for acknowledging that. Well, when I over the past year, I started working on developing my own courses. And the course is very simple: how to build a successful blog and podcast. So there are a lot of people out there, especially in the pandemic, and with television changing and things moving online, the boom of digital and social media, that people want to learn how to be a premier broadcaster. They want to have access to the same opportunities that I figured out. You know, there weren't a lot of handouts, if any, when I started, and I had to just figure it out along the way. And as I was figuring it out, I was realizing, like, as an entrepreneur, as a Black entrepreneur, as a gay Black entrepreneur, raising money was hard. The no's were loud. The you're not good enough. There's no space for you. Every door they tried to shut on me, I kept kicking them down because I became excited at the idea that I can prove them wrong. And then so in the development of the courses, when I started saying, hey, this is how you build your podcast, this is how you find your niche, this is how you market, this is how you protect your IP, this is how you license and all that. Then I started saying, well, where are they gonna go and do all this? You know, it sounds great. And so knowing that we're coming out of COVID, I wanted to launch a space that people can rent to use and have the right high quality equipment to do it, but also have a team that's done it and that's proven success and taken a blog and turned it into a media platform like Hollywood Unlocked, and also a podcast that's become a nationally syndicated show and TV show. And I'm excited that on January 1st, Hollywood Unlocked Studios will launch and people will be able to do that. Well, I've been doing a lot of work building stronger relationships with people to build trust. You know, I'm not me, you know, I'm still Jason Lee. I'm still gonna ask hard questions. I'm still gonna have very blunt opinions. I'm still going to push the needle. And I'm doing it though from a perspective of being a fan of the culture and fan of celebrity life, as I said, but also having more compassion, you know, trying to see things from their perspective. Recently launched season 3 with Kevin Hart, where we talked a lot about our fallout and how we've been able to build a relationship through mutual respect, where I have to understand his perspective, but he also has to understand ours. I've been a big advocate for treating Black media on the carpets equally as our white counterparts, and him saying that he acknowledges where he could do better and now has been more aware. It made it all make sense. And so this season, I think you're going to see a lot more conversations with people I've never talked to. Kevin Hart last week, Common tonight, and continuing to sit down with our people and go back to interviews in person where we can, like, you know, really get into how we can move our people forward. Yeah, I think that Doja Cat is somebody who I was really critical of because of things that had popped up with her on social media that, you know, maybe I was a little harder on her than I should have been. Would love to, it doesn't mean that I don't believe what I said. It just means that I'm in a place now where I would love the space to talk to her. Jordyn Woods, you know, I've been very public that I think that I was gaslit by the Kardashians and made a lot of promises that didn't come to fruition, which I think may have drove some of my personal interest in that story that had nothing to do with me. I think, you know, sitting down with her. But Megan, you know, I was just very critical of different moves that she and other celebrities have made, jockeying for white people's validation and not really going back to the culture that talks and pushes them every day. And I was happy that when I ran into her at Cardi's birthday party, that, you know, when she turned around, I didn't know it was her. When she turned around, I was standing there. I was a few cocktails in, so I didn't know where it was gonna go. But she turned to me and she said, "You know, I'm a good person." I said, "I know you're an amazing person, you know, and I love you. That's why I introduced you to Cardi. And I want to build with you. But I also need you to see us, and I need you to participate with us because we do love you. But you can't be afraid of us, and you can't be afraid of questions that everybody want to know the answers to, because they're going to be asked somewhere. But why not give it to us, you know?" And we exchanged numbers, and we have been in contact and have talked since then. So things seem to be cool. But you know, it's rarely personal for me. I think that when my credibility is attacked or questioned, or I'm personally attacked, like what went down with Nicki, then it becomes personal, and I'm willing to roll up the sleeves and get in the dirt. But I'm also in the space now where I believe instead of getting in the dirt, like let's get in the room and put some microphones on and let's talk about it. Can't give a fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you just can't, like, if you're gonna come and kill me because I criticize your song, or you being married to a man who's been convicted of rape or murder, and you know, have criticized moves that you made or uncovered where you lied, or if your fan base wants to try to do all that, listen, I'm not really worried about that. I think that there are innocent people being hurt every day at work, at home, on the bus, in the streets. There are Black people being killed for simply being Black. So death, violence, abuse, all that is just a part of life, and it's gonna happen. When it comes to doing my job, I try to stay as true to what I believe and true to what I see online. And I try to be as thoughtful when I speak about it. And there are times that I fall short of that, you know, and I've been apologetic when I've done it, when I've crossed the line very few times. But look, ultimately, I was a Nicki Minaj fan. I still listen to her music. I'm not a bar by any measure, thank God. But I do like Nicki Minaj. I think she's one of the many queens of hip hop, but she's not the only queen. And I think that we have to get to a place where we can set our differences aside for the sake of the culture moving forward. I know she reached out to me to talk. We never did. And that's okay if we never do. But ultimately, one day I hope to sit down and talk to her too. All the time. I'm confronted by friends who, as you started earlier, I started when they started, and then they didn't grow and I did. And it's like, hey man, what about me? And look, I put in the work. I got all the no's you're getting. I got all the you're not good enough. I got all the misdirected anger. I got Black people telling me I'm not Black enough, don't speak on the culture. I got white people telling me that they don't have time to invest in it. I got brands saying we're gonna get into Karen Civil when she's robbing the culture blind. I have so many different things happening, but you know what I did? I put my blinders on and I poured into spaces that wanted to pour into me. James DeBose over at Fox Soul saw me, saw an opportunity, poured into me. He got me 100%. Nick Cannon saw me, poured into me, brought me on Wild 'N Out, poured into him 100%. Charlemagne saw me, brought me to iHeart, poured into him 100%. And you know, I can either spend my time focused on those who don't see the value and don't want to invest in themselves, and then get into an argument with them about that, or I can just keep pointing to those that do. And that was when I started living with the quality-based approach to life over the quantity approach, based approach to life. And look, I'm okay with figuring out how to help my people. We have small business discounts for advertising and all that, but I'm not into giving handouts because I didn't get any. And we shouldn't want a handout because, as they say, anything that comes easy is not worth having. I still wanted to be held accountable. Unfortunately, you know, when it comes to statute of limitations on the legal front to sue her, I'm not going to be able to sue her. So that's that. I feel like people see her now. So if they choose to work with her, you see it and you get what you get. And I think that the damage she did to herself by admitting to what she's done to me and other people it's out there for people to see. Those receipts will never go away. Millions of people watched the interview. They heard the Clubhouse chats. They heard her say she has no problem wearing orange because she likes orange. She has, she's been who she is, and the world sees it now. So I always say to people, look, pick your partnerships how you want. But when it comes to me, what I can't control is Hollywood Unlocked. I can control my voice. And I know that she doesn't have the partnership with Facebook that she used to have. She doesn't have the access in some areas that she doesn't have to have. And that's great for us, because ultimately, when you have cancer like a Karen Civil, you got to cut it out. As far as Ebro goes and, his poor journalism, Ebro doesn't take any food off my plate. I don't eat because of Ebro. I don't wake up and go to sleep thinking about Ebro, nor does he of me. And he'll still have his Apple show or whatever, and he'll still make fun of African names, and he'll still do whatever Ebro wants to do, and people will still subscribe to that if they want. We're all not perfect, and we're all not a monolith, but ultimately, what I will say is that I thank God I'm not an employee like Ebro. I thank God that I'm in control of my voice. I thank God that there's not one partnership that tells me that I can't say how I feel. For Jason Lee, launching the courses on how to build a successful blog and podcast, and really promoting that globally for people to be able to start their own Hollywood Unlocked. I want to share the voice of the culture. I don't think the three of us at the top, or wherever the perceived top is, should be dominating that. I think everybody should have a stake in it, because ultimately all of us have to receive a dividend at the end of our investment. I think that the launch of the Hollywood Unlocked Studios, to be able to provide a space for podcasters or bloggers to come and create or do photo shoots or whatever they want to do there, is important. My next book, How I Stopped Giving a Fuck and Started Winning, I'm writing that now. Probably going to be shocking, but also going to be some tea to sip on while you read and learn how to be, to be great. Just continue to grow a foxhole. I want to start producing content behind the scenes and just kind of put my thing in it. But also, I was just with Tiffany Haddish recently in Colombia for her birthday, and we were talking about how we can help each other. And I told her I'm bringing back the Hollywood Unlocked Social Impact Awards this year, 2022, and she's agreed to host it and produce it with me. So, being able to continue to provide more spaces for us to show up, that's what I'm about. First of all, I don't see myself as a celebrity. I see myself as a public figure that people recognize. I still gag when the Rihannas or the Mariah Careys text me. I was recently at a gay club in New York. There's this hot bartender that I want to date. He won't date me, but he's a huge Mariah Carey fan. So I took a picture with him and I texted to Mariah, and she responded, and now he's in love with me. Listen, I use my relationships and resources the way that I do. I will say that I wish that people would just understand that I'm human and I'm growing and I'm not perfect. And no matter what success I have in my business, I still am going through my personal evolution as a human being. I have to fall in love with myself every day. I have to continue to wake up with purpose every day. I have to wear all of the drama, from being an employer to being a public figure to being a son or an uncle, just like everybody else. And I think I would wish that people would see that side of me. The other part to that, though, is that as much as I give it out, I can take it. And so it doesn't hurt my feelings when people say whatever they say about me, because as long as you're talking, I'm winning.